Good afternoon to everybody that has joined us today. Hello from sunny Mauritius to those that live overseas. My name is Dominika. I'm a member of the admissions and marketing team at Middlesex University, Mauritius. I, like yourselves, embarked on a journey of further studies at undergraduate and postgraduate level, but many, many moons ago. I have worked in various roles in higher education for more than 15 years and mainly specializing in the admissions process and recruitment of students. So before we jump into the conversations, I would like to just say a few words and set some ground rules. Firstly, thank you to everybody that is joining us or will be joining us today. We appreciate your time that you have taken out to join this webinar. And we hope that you leave this webinar with a wealth of information and a lot of confidence towards your next steps. Having the opportunity to speak to students, current students in different years and in different courses is quite an invaluable experience, and it can give you an insight into their journey. They probably had the same questions, worries, and also concerns and doubts at some point in their journey towards higher education. I would also like to request that you stay muted during this whole webinar so that we can reduce the background noise. We will dedicate question time at the end, where you will be invited to type some questions into the chat, and one of our speakers will answer the question for you. If you would like to have a specific speaker answering the question, please type out their name. I will introduce them shortly. Finally, this will be recorded and shared on our social media at a later stage. And finally, if you have any questions regarding your admissions or your offers, or if you're waiting for offers, it will be best if that you don't disclose any information on the webinar. You can email us, and one of our team members will be happy to respond to you directly and provide you with more tailored advice. I will provide all our contact details at the end, so you can jot them down for your information. So finally, without further delays, let's begin. Our 4 fantastic students studying a variety of courses and in different years. We will begin with Noor.
Hello, everyone. So my name is Noor Ali, and I have just finished my second year at Middlesex for the course Computer Science and Systems Engineering. As it stands right now, I am also a member of the Digital Ambassadors and a Student Learning Assistant. And I'm looking forward to answering your questions and giving you further enlightenment concerning my course.
Great, Noor. Berenice?
Hey guys, so I'm Berenice and I am currently doing a degree in psychology of counseling skills. I'm starting my year 3 in September this year. I'm also a student ambassador, one of the student bodies on campus, and I'm looking forward to talk to you about what we do here at uni and how my course is going so far.
Thank you, Berenice. Abid?
Sorry for that. Hello, everyone. My name is Abid Lada. I have currently finished my final year in accounting and finance. I am actually from Tanzania, East Africa, and I have been, to add extracurriculars, I've been the treasurer for the past 3 years for Media Cluster, which is one of the many vibrant societies on campus. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
And finally, last but not least, Chaik.
Hello everyone, my name is Chehek Chavla and I am a final year student in the field of advertising, public relations and branding. We call it APRB for short. And I am from India and I am really looking forward to sharing a bit of my experience with choosing a university with you guys. I have been an active part of university. I've been a digital ambassador, a student learning assistant, and well, really active in societies as well. And I'm hoping I can give some of what I have learned at university and share it with you guys.
Great, thank you very much. So we're going to kick off our webinar talk today with the first part. We will have 2 parts, and the first part is the more detailed one. It'll be the journey and the course, and each of our panelists will be talking about their journey towards university and what they experienced, how they went about it, reflecting back, what did they do, the involvement of parents, and different themes like that. So we'll begin this first talk with Abid, who will be sharing his story on his journey to his degree in accounting and finance.
Thank you, Dominika. So I think it's been
Oh, sorry, Abid, you're just muted. Do you mind unmuting?
No worries. So yeah, I think my journey has been pretty straightforward and short. To start off with, I always knew since O levels and A levels that I wanted to do accounting. Accounting has been my passion since the very start. And I think it just bottom line to that is that I want to become an accountant. But the question was, well, now where, right? And for that, I was fortunate enough to have an agent to help me out back at home, which I assume most countries do have as well, which helped me through the whole process from not only from finding universities all over the world, but in terms of what universities they offer, what would I expect, and to generally help me getting into admitted as well. To add furthermore to that, my overall experience in the campus has been a great one as well. And yeah, I'm glad to say that it's been 3 good years and I finally graduated and passed my degree.
Great, Abid. If I'm not mistaken, we did have this conversation earlier. You did come through an agent.
Yes.
So you went through the route of speaking to somebody directly, who provided you with more tailored advice. Could you share that experience with us a little bit more?
Sure. My advice to anyone and everyone who would go through an agent is firstly, know what you want, right? Because they, at least from my personal experience, my agent could be a bit persuasive, trying to save me away. But I think is if you know what you want and stick to it and be adamant to it, it would be, what do you say? Great thing. So for me personally, when I went to visit my agent, I had 3 main criteria. First and foremost would be the pricing, right? Because as we all know, the whole student debt fiasco going on in the whole world. So for me, first and foremost was pricing. Second of all would be obviously a British qualification. And lastly would be a place where I could, with more diverse culture, where I could be at least free and to practice my faith and express myself freely. So having these 3, criteria in mind is when I faced my agent and got quite a good view of varieties. And I think, this university and this country checked most of them, and thus I'm here.
Great, Abid. Thank you for sharing that and emphasizing the importance of having criteria when you are going for advice, either to university or agent. I think it gives you some boundaries to operate within. That's very useful. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And Chaik, over to you. And what was your journey to your degree in advertising, public relations, and branding?
Okay, thank you, Dominica. And my process actually had a bit more of turns because when I finished high school back in 2019, I was looking for courses for universities in London, in Manchester, and so many places in the UK because that was always what I had envisioned. And like I always visualized myself in the UK. But fast forward, I realized that my family had to shift to Mauritius. And naturally, because it was a big change for my family at the time we were going through, so it would just be easier for me to choose a university more locally. So then my parents came to me, they asked me, Chehek, it's better if you take a university which is within Mauritius. So I was a bit deterred, but I tried to keep an open mind, which I'm glad actually I did. But so then I started looking for campuses in Mauritius. I visited quite a few campuses actually. So there were many universities. I looked through so many courses, but the reason I finally settled for Middlesex, well, one of the reasons was the fact that even though I could not pursue my bachelor's in UK, I have always wanted to go there for my master's. So I felt if I come here and get a British qualification, it would be me taking one step into the British education system and getting a feel of how things are, and it just made more sense for me. And the other thing was when I came to campus and I got to interact with the lecturers, I got to interact with people from the marketing team, and they were very warm and welcoming. And one of the things is we have a lot of international students. So I felt like, it would not be somewhere I might feel out of place, which is very true because I found so many people from all across the world and it was very nice meeting them. So that was another reason. Now, the third thing, the course. So unlike my friend Abid here, I was confused. I was not sure of which course to take. So the final two courses I shortlisted were business management marketing or advertising, public relations, and branding. So now for me personally, I went through the modules which are available on the Middlesex University page. And when I was going through the modules, I saw that business management had a bit of finance, a bit of people management, and it was an overview of the business world actually. But APRB, advertising, public relations, and branding, it focused a lot on the creative aspect as well. So, it could be branding. It is actually, I also found out that quite a few of the modules or what we are taught in business management, marketing, and APRB, they overlapped at some points. The difference was that in business management, you really dive deep into business. So you get business environment and like venture, starting your venture and everything. But in APRB, you have more of a creative side. And I saw the modules like creative advertising or content design. There was one for public relations from what I remember. And I just know that I've always been somebody who has been very fond of coming up with new ideas or, just planning new things, out of the box concepts. So I knew from that particular thing that yes, for me, instead of going too much into finance or quantitative sides, for me, it's more of the creative part, which is why I ended up going for APRB. And looking back now, I'm graduating and I think it was the right decision for me. So yes, that was a bit about my journey.
Thank you very much. And thank you for sharing your experience of trying to choose between two courses, because I think many applicants or students coming to university will probably experience this, where they're trying to figure out which course is appropriate for them, and looking at modules and looking at university websites and having a feel for the modules. Something you've highlighted a lot is very important because it gives you an idea of what interests you might kind of gain as your studies progress. So thank you very much for sharing that, and also the fact that you start looking at further studies, and especially at postgrad. So what you can shift from Mauritius to the UK, you can shift from Mauritius to France, and being able to do that with a British college education is very worthwhile and yeah, a great opportunity. And we hope, Chaik, your plans do come true when you decide to shift for postgraduate studies at some point. We're moving on to psychology with counseling skills, and Berenice, who would be sharing her story with us.
Okay, so I'm Berenice and I'm doing psychology with counseling skills. I'm actually starting my third year in September. My journey is a bit different from Chahek and Abid's because, I'm from the first COVID batch that happened, like the first high schoolers who just finished HSC and stuff, choosing a university and what's next. So my plan from the start, from always, I would say, was to go overseas and pursue my tertiary studies like overseas. Unfortunately, when COVID happened and you've got lockdown and everything, my plan had changed. And I knew right away that the only university that would provide me the feeling of, being not in Mauritius, but also in Mauritius at the same time, with like a fantastic degree and with like a degree that's going to be like recognized all over the world, would only be like Middlesex. Like I only applied to one university in Mauritius and it was Middlesex. And thankfully I got accepted, I got in. So thankful for that. So I always wanted to do psychology. For me, like the human mind was very interesting, still is. I'm very curious about why we have like certain reactions due to certain situations. And that was really like what I wanted to do. In year one, I was really like focused into doing I'm gonna do like clinical psychology. I'm gonna work like in the medical field of psychology. But then like after the years pass, you get to do like such amazing modules, and in them like you learn so much more about psychology. Like it's not only you sit like in a room and you listen to people talking. Like there's so much more to that you learn from Middlesex and from your lecturers. like I turned myself into like more the forensic side of psychology, so working like in prisons and like with inmates and stuff like that, and very like all that is linked to like law, like psychology linked with law. So like when you read psychology with counseling skills, like you get like, yes, you're going to do psychology, but at the end you do so much more than just psychology, and that is just amazing. So that was a bit my path, like hopefully finishing my degree, my year 3 in September, like starting and then ending it, and then hopefully like doing a master. And we are very lucky that the first master in psychology arrived at Middlesex this year, starting the first year in September. So looking forward like to do an MSc too, hopefully at Middlesex. So yeah, that was a bit of my journey so far.
Great, Berenice. Thank you very much. And touching on the COVID subject, it is so important these days, and it has really disrupted the plans of students, of employers, of people working in different services, and people have had to reassess their plans. And I'm very happy, Berenice, that you joined Middlesex in the end, and we offered that course that you really wanted to do. So, you know, thank you very much for sharing quite personal, your personal journey of your initial plans and how they shifted to something different. Thank you very much, Berenice. Finally, we will be hearing from our IT student, Noor, and his journey as he started the same year as Berenice, if I'm not mistaken. Noor?
Yep. So thank you, Dominica. My story is quite similar to Berenice's, since we are in the same intake. And just like her, I too am a Mauritian, and the plan has always been to go abroad for my tertiary education. But due to COVID-19, I was obliged to stay in Mauritius for my further studies. And when I realized that I had to stay in Mauritius, I thought to myself, I need to choose a university which makes me feel comfortable. One of the most important criteria for me was a campus, and I decided to go by myself and check out all other campuses across Mauritius. So by using my various connections and friends which are attending all of the universities across Mauritius, on regular days, I went and hanged out with them on the campus just so that I could see how the campus really is on a daily basis, and not during one of those planned open days, which honestly, they just showcase the campus in an embellished light. And after going through all of the main campuses on our island, my conclusion was that Middlesex was the best campus on in Mauritius. And if you don't believe me, I have my very responsible disclaimer. So first things first, it is the most accurate representation of an overseas campus. The diversity which is represented at Middlesex is the other campuses just do not compare. At one point, I think we had 47 different nationalities represented on our campus, and this is something which was unheard of at the other main universities. The facilities at Middlesex are top-notch. We are actually a relatively new campus, so everything is pretty brand new. So we did not have any issues of broken tables. All the computers worked. Our labs are well equipped, and we also have additional facilities such as a gym, which is right across the road. And the most important facility, in my opinion, with Middlesex, Mauritius, is the fact that the beach is just 5 minutes away. So after your classes, you guys can come hang out at the beach, get yourself a nice tan, have some coconut water, pineapple under the trees, and then go for a swim. It's always warm in Mauritius, so be it summer or winter, you'll be able to get to a beach at any time. And there was my last point about the campus is there is a vivid campus life. So it's not just for induction week, it's not just during open days, it's not just during special occasions such as, I don't know, the National Day, that you'll have people singing and dancing on the campus. Every week, there basically is an activity. We have mentioned many names such as digital ambassador, student ambassador, media cluster. All of these are student societies, and they are an essential part of Middlesex. They are student-led bodies which organize activities throughout the academic year, and thanks to them, the campus life is always entertaining, is always alive. There's never a dead week at campus, on our campus, except of course the final season, but that's, you have to study for your exams, so that's excusable. So concerning my major, since finishing my A-levels, I knew that I wanted to do something related to the computer science field. And when I was comparing the courses and syllabuses of the different universities in Mauritius, Middlesex's syllabus seems really different. It promised a hands-on approach, which in the field I wanted to go to is a huge plus, because it's not just learning theoretical things and doing some boring standard cookie cutter assignments. It's actually doing a project which you can build, which you can use, to build a portfolio later on, something which is really, really essential for my field. So this is where I finish my testimony. Back to you, Dominica.
Thank you very much, Noor. And thank you. I think we're very pleased that you were able to find and meet the expectation of what you were looking, despite wanting to go overseas. And I think we do have a wonderful campus. It's relatively new. And yes, we do have the beach just down the road. So there is plus. So just to summarize a few themes, I think it's important to mention a handful of things have come up, and things like affordability. It's true. People are looking more at their finances and looking at universities that offer a variety of funding or competitive fees. And it should be something students should take under consideration. Diversity, it's important. You want to feel safe on a campus. You want to be able to meet people from different cultures, really experience something authentic for 3-4 years, depending on the university and the duration of the course. Agents as well. I think Berenice maybe forgot, but I remember she mentioned she came with her school here in Mauritius on a bus tour of different universities. If your colleges provide that, try to grab those opportunities, because you can get a feel of a campus life and speak to staff that have a lot of knowledge. And finally, courses, comparing your course against another course at a university, but also comparing it against a course at another university. Take some time to look at courses and what they offer, what modules they offer, and do some research on that, because like Chai really explained, she devoted time into that and really found that course that she found that would bring out her creative side. Looked at her skills and wanted to know where they fit better. And I think it's really important, because some courses are more general than others, while others focus on one area in particular. So it's really important to look at that. So some of these themes that have come up, I think is very important for prospective students. Before we jump into, yes, Abid, hands up.
Yeah, thank you. Just to add on the what do you say, research part on what your courses will entail, I think for me personally, it helped also as well that the website, the Middlesex website, is very well detailed into giving you all the breakdown exactly of what each courses entail. So that would be a good place to start looking into exactly, if you don't understand what the general term of the course means, the website has broken down into detail every module that every courses entail.
Yep, and that's something we try to keep, because I think it's important for people to know what modules they will be studying, which ones are compulsory, which ones are option. How can you specialize in your final year, for example? It's important to be able to showcase that. So yeah, make sure you have a look at courses and what they entail. Before we get into questions and answers, because I assume I'm hoping there's going to be a lot of questions. I just wanted to have some final words of encouragement, words of wisdom. Have you guys looked back at your journey, and is there anything you would change or you wish you had touched upon when you were looking at universities? Berenice, is there anything you would have done maybe differently, or is there any words of wisdom you'd like to share? Final words of wisdom?
I mean, I would just say, like you said, I know that maybe, I don't know if you still guys have career fairs and university fairs and stuff like that. Just go visit, go talk to the people. Like, I remember like we had like a bus tour organized. I'm from Loreto College QPIP. I don't know if any of you guys are from there, but the administration organized a bus tour for us, and we visited each university, and basically just go, like, don't skip them. They're so important because like you get to have an insight of how like the life is there, and you get to talk to lecturers and like to counselors there that may guide you even further in your choices. Like, just make the most of that while you are in high school. And then I would say, like, when you get to uni, like, just get do all the activities that you can, get into societies, like enjoy the university life as well as your studies, of course. But trust me, like, like Noor said, there's always something to do on campus. Participate, get into clubs. You can even like create clubs with a bunch of students. Like, we have such like amazing opportunities, and like we are given so much opportunities to do like our university years the best years that we can have. And I would just say that you did not like have a full say when you got into high school, because well, your parents chose for you, and also like regional stuff and stuff like that. But you're the ones who are going to choose like your university now. Like, the 3 to 5 years coming next are the ones that you are basically going to choose where you want to spend the next 3 to 5 years. So make the most of it, and of course, like, do it for you. And yeah, that would be my wisdom kind of words for you guys.
Thank you very much, Berenice. And Noor, what about you? Any final words?
Yes. So these 3 to 4 years will be some of the most influential years for you. And it's really important for you to leave your comfort zone. And looking back on these 2 years, which I've been at Middlesex has really allowed me to grow and has given me plenty of opportunities to exit my comfort zone. So before I was camera shy. So if I was asked to do this podcast this webinar 2 years ago, maybe the answer would have been no. But thanks to the opportunities which I have got at Middlesex, I am able to be here in front of you today. So please use the opportunities which you will get to the fullest, be it at Middlesex or anywhere else which you are. So that's all for me.
Thank you very much, Noor. And Chaik?
Yes, well, I'd have two things to say actually. So the first would be like, you know, how quite a few of us mentioned that we wanted to go somewhere else, but like we had to stay in Mauritius, or if we have to choose a university locally, just keep an open mind. Because the thing is, even though initially my plans were different, and I had to come to Mauritius, the thing is, this experience has been great for me. I got to learn a lot. And as Noor mentioned, I also grew a lot as a person. Back in year one, I was completely different. And once again, echoing what Noor said, if 2-3 years ago somebody asked me to be on a podcast to show my face to like 20-30 people, I would be hesitant. I would probably say no. But I allowed myself to go out of that comfort zone, to actually interact with people. It is scary, by the way. It's not like when you're just going there, you will feel scared, but then trust me, you would be surprised actually. You'd be surprised in the best possible way. So don't hold back, keep an open mind, and just try to, you know, push that comfort zone, because eventually you will come out as a new person, somebody you will amaze yourself itself. So just keep an open mind.
Thanks a lot, Chaik. Some really important words of wisdom from Noor and Chaik. And Abid, finally from you.
So I think my colleagues have pretty much summed it up, but if I were to add something, I would say that the path to graduation is like the hiking routes in the various mountains in Mauritius. There's going to be a lot of ups and downs, but you know, keep the end goal in mind, keep the peak in mind, and don't forget to have fun along the way. You know, like as Bernice mentioned, do participate in various activities on campus. Every week there's something going on. Join different societies. There's a lot of collaboration happening on campus as well. So keep your end goal in mind. Work hard, no doubt. Consistency is key. But along the way, don't forget to have fun.
Great. Thank you very much. And we will start taking questions, which we have already been receiving. So I'm just going to start reading through them, and I'll answer any that I can answer. We have a question. Right, we have the first question is from Dudechang Tutu. I'm sorry about my pronunciation. Not many students don't share the flip side or the bad side of their school university. Can anyone share just a few bad moments you may have experienced in the university with either your teacher or friends? Abid, maybe you would like to share a journey that you've had, that you struggled in general?
I think coming from a system whereby we were force-fed, we were spoon-fed, not force-fed, sorry, spoon-fed everything, from our teachers, it was a bit difficult to cope with the teachers in the university, as in I had to do a lot of self-study, but none, so I would be honest, in the class, that what do you say, it was not much help, like in some modules, I would have to push myself to learn. But nonetheless, they would make it up by helping me after classes if I would have questions and in regards to in regards to the topics or coursework.
So yes, it is a shift for many from secondary school, high school, college to university, and in many cases, what you've studied, it's a complete start from the beginning. So it can be a difficult time for students. And as a university, we try to offer the support. We have our LETs. I think Noor and Chai could further talk about that. And maybe, what kind of experiences, your fellow students have had in terms of the difficulties in studying and learning. You can share a few stories about that. But also there's counseling and wellness for anybody struggling from a mental perspective, and something COVID has showcased. There is a lot of difficulties for students at times, and they do need additional support. Noor or Chai, would you like to touch upon any additional support or things that you've seen that have been difficult or you've experienced?
Yes, sure, actually. So being a student learning assistant, we are part of the learning enhancement team of university, which basically focuses on helping out students. So it could be with their coursework, it could be with referencing, or if they're not able to understand a specific topic in class, they usually refer to their SLAs. So student learning assistants, we call them SLAs. So I was the SLA for APRB this last year. And I had students coming to me because sometimes, when we are working on projects or we have a lot of work, and especially pertaining to my field, there are very minor things you have to take care of. For example, when you have presentations or branding guidelines and all of that stuff. And sometimes your lecturers might not have the time towards the end because it's close to the exam period. So you might find it hard to just send a last minute email to your lecturer, because first, of course, they would, want you to finish your work a bit earlier. So you have that small gap. So with the SLAs, the thing is, even if it's last minute help or if you're feeling confused, of course, you have to keep in mind about their exams as well, because we do have assignments to submit. But sometimes when these students are not able to seek help from their lecturers, it could be because of last minute issues. It could be because, when in our course, we have like slides, we have presentations which are 50 pages and stuff. So it might not be as easy to go to your lecturer and ask them to go through the 50 pages immediately for you. But when you go to an SLA, first you get that student to student interaction, which we value a lot, because sometimes the things you go through, your seniors have already gone through the same. So we can guide you and assist you with those issues, and we can help you with your work. It could be proofreading, it could be telling you small things like, okay, this thing has to be spaced out more evenly, or branding stuff and concepts like that. So in these aspects, the learning enhancement team can really help you out. And once again, I'll repeat, it could be referencing, it can be anything related to your academic studies, to your course.
Thank you a lot, Chaik. So yes, there are things you might struggle with and you might need help. And I hope, you look at it and you seek help at university, but small things, even from referencing, it can be a difficult task for some. So yes, there are bad sides as well too, and struggles when it comes to university life. We've had another question about scholarships and what criteria we have. This year, we will not be having any undergraduate scholarships, unfortunately. We will be hosting only alumni scholarships for postgraduate studies. So unfortunately, for students that are looking for funding with the university, there will be none available this year. I know a few of you have asked about this. I'm really sorry about this, but we do review our funding and scholarship opportunities every year, and this year it was just not possible for anything of this kind. Thank you to the two applicants that have inquired about this. We've had another question about facilities for students with disabilities. We always encourage the students with applicants with disabilities to disclose them to us, to contact us directly. We will put them in touch with our academic registrar, who can then make an assessment, have a conversation, and work out the best plan going forward, and provide further advice as to what the university can provide in terms of support. Okay, but I would highly recommend anybody in the group that is facing a disability to come forward and email us. I'll provide the contact details at the end. So please do share anything you'd like with us directly so we can look at it at an individual case. Yes, Abid?
Sorry, just to add on the disability part, I'm talking about physical disabilities. I think it's safe to say, and I think my peers can back me up on this, that the campus has been made very, user-friendly, in the sense that there is access for wheelchair everywhere, support bars, and so if we're talking about physical disabilities, the campus has taken that into consideration and is catering for that as well.
Okay. Yes, the campus is very friendly with regards to that. But please do email us if you have any concerns. We can tailor that advice to you directly. We have a question for the psychology major student, Berenice. And what skills have you achieved from studying psychology? And a part 2 to the question is, are there any psychology facts you have learned to not be true?
Okay. What are the skills that I have learned would be definitely listening skills and communication skills. Like sometimes you may think that you are listening to someone when they're talking, but what I've learned is that when you clearly listen to someone when they talk while you're doing like a psychology major, like you get to sense the change of tone when they are talking about something that may be traumatic to them, or the facial expressions are going to change when something may I don't know, may just don't feel right with them. I feel like my listening skills now are just I could just not be looking at the person while talking, but just listening to her. I can sense a bit in their voice when they're about to crack or when something might be bothering them. And communication skills would be definitely learning how to respond to someone maybe who is really scared to talk about something, maybe there has been violence with them, someone has been violent with them, just know how to talk to them, use the right words, because sometimes people just forget that some words may trigger other people while they are talking. We use words that may not be the best. So yeah, I would say that these are two of the major skills that I've acquired myself personally. And psychology facts that I've learned not to be true. Definitely when people say that going to a therapist is only for crazy people, this is the main psychology fact and rumor that goes on. Definitely no, going to a therapist for help is definitely not only for crazy people. That is the major one. And also what would be we have a module in year 2 where we kind of go through a lie detector test, where we put electrodes in our body and stuff and just analyze our heartbeat and stuff. And we just learned that lie detector tests are not accurate 100%, because we learned we did it on the spot, and we saw that someone can just be lying, and when you know how to control your heartbeat or your breathing and stuff, you just know that you can lie. So not to trust like all those movies telling you that, yeah, if you put like electrodes on your hand and stuff, like definitely the person is lying. So that would be another fact that is a no-no. So yeah, I think that there's much, like, it depends on what you will catch up on. Like those are the major ones. I think might have forgot some, but yeah, those might be the major ones.
Thank you. And thank you for that very interesting and intriguing question. I think that Bernice had to think quickly on the spot to answer that one. Another question, it isn't mandatory to be vaccinated in order to be on campus. Yes, as per the Ministry of Education rules, students have to have vaccination to be able to enter campus. You will have to show proof of vaccination. If not, you will have to take a PCR test in order to access campus if you're not fully vaccinated. If you have any inquiries with regards to that, please email us. Our international student advisor will be able to get back to you with a detailed explanation. But we will keep applicants updated as any changes happen with regards to COVID protocols. Thank you, Avid, for sharing that. Yes, we do. Our students do get issued cards with vaccinated on the back, so they can showcase to security. We have another question about how long it takes for admissions feedback. Normally, it takes about a couple of weeks, but we do assess applications case to case, especially at postgraduate level. If there's additional documents required, if we do need to send something to Middlesex London for querying, it can take longer. So if you have any questions about your application, or if you're still waiting to hear from us, please email us. I'm sure one of us will get back to you, or the admissions officer will get back to you. Like I've mentioned, I'll share the contact details at the end. So I hope that's answered your question. Another question is, the duration of the course is 3 years. How long is each semester? I can tell you that we run about 3 terms, and we finish usually exams by May. So we start end of September. We have a term until December, where there will be a 3-week break. Then we resume in January until the Easter holiday breaks, depending when Easter starts. And then we come back for a 3rd term, which usually is short, and students start in assessment and exams. And then there is the holiday break. You guys want to share any experiences about the term setup and holiday breaks? Maybe Chaik, I remember you said you enjoyed the 3-term system because it gave you an opportunity to do some work placements.
Yes, actually, so when I was
I have a question, but I'm kind of in the traffic. I cannot type now.
Okay. Can we take your question when Chaik finishes? Can we take your question when Chaik finishes her explanation? Okay, just a sec. Chaik, sorry about that. Please continue.
No worries. So all I was saying was, when I was looking into different universities, one thing that was very appealing about Middlesex to me was the time you get, like between the end of your 1st year and the beginning of 2nd year, or it could be like any 2 years basically, was that you get approximately 4 months of break, which is plenty time to do internships. So I really liked the fact that you could actually make this break useful. So even if you want to take 1 month of holidays, because companies usually take 3 months internship minimum, from what I have seen, they prefer 3 months at least. So even if you want a small break, you have time to rest, but you also have time to work. So if you distribute like time accordingly and evenly, you will be very productive during this break. And it is a very pro-work experience. So that was something which was very appealing for me.
Yes, and we do have an employability service who's very active and provides with a lot of webinars and a career festival. So there's a lot of opportunities for students to engage with employers, and we have workshops on CVs and skills. So anybody that's joining will have an opportunity to really understand the world of employment afterwards, and try to embark on a graduate scheme, or even an internship during their breaks. And a lot of our students do tend to do that. Moving forward, Femi, do you want to ask your question? I understand you're driving, so you can't type your question. Maybe we'll come back to you, Femi. I'll just continue.
Can you hear me now?
Hello.
Okay, sorry. I'm sorry for interrupting the other time. I don't know. My network here is not too good, so I don't know. Somebody was talking. Please, pardon me. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, very bad network. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. I want to know. Let me first of all appreciate all the speakers. Thank you very much. I learned a lot from what you said. Thank you. And the thing is, I want to come to Mauritius because I am from Africa. I'm from Nigeria, and I don't want to go too far away from home. I still feel that I should still stay in Africa, but then I want to still get what the education value that I still want to get from in other parts of the world, still in the Africa, and that is why I'm choosing the Middle West in Mauritius. But then, do I need an agent to help me run through my application and everything? Do you think I need an agent to help me do that? And how long does this application take? Those are my questions. I have other questions, but if I can get the reply for that, I'll be able to continue.
Okay, I'll take that, Femi. You don't need an agent. If you would like to have an agent, you would like to have somebody in your country to represent you or something like that, you can reach out to us. We do work with a variety of agents. We can send you that information. We also have regional offices for Middlesex you can reach out to. So it's something we can send you if you'd like. Is that something that would interest you? Or are you happy to proceed on your own?
Yeah, I will want to proceed on my own.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, you don't need an agent. And with regards to the decision, like I said, it depends on the course and depends if the course requires a Middlesex London decision. But what I can do is, you can send us an email, or I can just take your name and then I can let the admissions officer know that you've been part of the webinar and you need further assistance. Okay.
Okay, I will be glad, please.
Okay. You have talked about the shift, to another country and being near. I think Abid is the one that kind of represents your scenario a little bit. He's moved from Tanzania to Mauritius. He might be able to talk a little bit about that. And for anybody else that's moving from an African continent, from anywhere else, they can, Abid can share the move and jump from there. Okay. Femi, I'm just going to mute you, okay, for the noise level, okay? Abid,
no problem, huh?
over to you.
Yes, I'm just waiting for him to get muted. So, okay,
yes,
thank you.
Go. Over to you. Share your experience.
Yes, Femi, first and foremost, thank you for your question, and definitely I can relate a lot to what you're asking for, because that was one of my criteria as well to my agent, that I would prefer something close to home, and it actually did help. Because when COVID hit and we had to go back, I was one of the fortunate ones to get a repatriation flight to back home. So I completely agree with you that you want a university far from home, but yet still close to home. And I think Middlesex Mauritius definitely delivers that. And apart from that, we also have a large base of, you mentioned that you're from Nigeria as well. We have a lot of, a large base of students who are from Nigeria as well over here, from different tribes as well. So I don't think so. And when Noor mentioned the diversity on campus, so not only will you still be in Africa, technically speaking, but also you would also not feel left out, because you would have you will feel at home with the surrounding of your fellow Nigerian brothers and sisters as well.
Thank you very much, Abid, for the information. I'm just going to jump back to the questions. We have Rebecca, who's asking, when do the acceptance results come out? Rebecca, do you mean the offer letters, decisions for with regards to your application? Is that what you're referring to? If it is, then we try to take a few weeks to make a decision, about 2 weeks, if not sooner. But again, it depends on what course you've applied and the documentation required. So, I mean, I can jot down your name and I can have a look at your application as well and follow up with you later if you'd like. Happy to do that for you. We have another question from Kay. When is the end of a semester vacation? Do we continue paying for accommodation? Well, that depends. If you are thinking about staying at our student life residence, which is the private accommodation run by our partners, Medine, which is halls of residence. There's about 2 blocks with different packages, from what I understand. You can also look at renting privately in the vicinity or in one of the towns. I don't know if the students would like to share some of their experiences in renting. I think, Abid, you're probably the only one, as the rest are living at home. So Abid, what's your experience with regards to renting as a student?
Well, yeah, I think you summed it up well. It depends on how long are you going to stay on the island. So you pay monthly, right? So the months you are actually on, like staying within the roof, is the months you pay for. But if you're lucky enough, some landlords are flexible enough who will let you off, like for maybe you're staying up to September, but then your flight is in maybe end or towards the next month, first week, and they let you off. But most likely you will be paying for the months you actually stay on the in the house.
Okay, yeah, the landlords might impose contracts as well, 1 year or something like that.
I would actually advise to get sign a lease, heads up before you start staying in the place. Because I've had students having issues later onwards whereby the landlords don't deliver in terms of services, maybe even electronics and all this kind of stuff, like to help around with general furnishing. So my advice would be set the ground rules, have a lease signed up, and know what you're paying for. Not only the house, but furnitures and appliances as well.
Okay, and our international student advisor, Nihad, would be able to assist with any queries with regards to accommodation. So if you would like to email us, Nihad will be able to pick up the email and send you any details, or if you would like to give us a call, or we also have operate a WhatsApp system. So feel free to reach out to us. We can talk. We can provide further information about accommodation. But yes, we do have halls of residence just next to campus for anybody that's interested. We have another question. Question to any of the students. What sort of impact are you looking to make at the university? How will you make it? Tutu, some very interesting questions coming from you today. I might ask Noor about this and see what he thinks. What sort of impact are you looking to make at the university? How will you make it? Noor, do you feel you've made an impact or hope to make an impact in the future?
Well, yes, I feel that I have managed to make an impact. And as a student, the best way to do it is to join one of the societies which we have talked about earlier. The university, I think Berenice mentioned that you can create your own society. So if you come with a concrete plan which is interesting and appealing to the university, we will be able to give you the opportunity to bring your idea to life, and you will be able to make the change, not make the change immediately, but take the necessary steps to make the change which you want to bring at the university level. So there are already a plethora of societies and other bodies which are present, and you will not be alone in that journey. The facilities which are available are really helpful, and it's really quite an empowering way in order for you to bring your ideas to life.
Thank you very much, Noor. And I mean, some of our students, especially our panelists, Chaik, if I'm not mistaken, are you a founding member of a society, SAVE, or?
Technically, well, okay, so the thing is, when I took over SAVE, it was basically dying out. So nobody was doing anything. So the society, I remember walking into the office and there was like a huge question mark under the name of the society. So it was basically finished. So in some way, I revived the society. The society was founded earlier, but yes, to give back life to it, a colleague of mine and I, we actually had to do everything from scratch, the logo and everything. So in some ways, yes, but I would still say that the society did have some history before. But yes, once again, if you're looking to make an impact at university, the best way is to join a student-led body or a student society, somewhere where students can see you, somewhere where you have this opportunity to make some positive change or to impact other lives in some way. So for example, as the president of Safe Society, I was able to gather people, like-minded people who actually want to do something for animals, and we came together. And it is safe to say that we did leave an impact, because Now the society will be carried forward because we were able to choose people who are responsible enough to take this initiative further. So yes, guys, that's how you can actually leave an impact.
Safe Society is the animal welfare society. So CHAIC has provided a lot of support to different shelters around the island. So yes, there's a lot of opportunity to make an impact and be a leader. There's always also different competitions like the HSBC case competition where students from different courses compete with other universities. So yes, there's a lot of opportunities to make an impact on campus. We have questions about transport facilities for students, and we do normally operate transport around the island, not everywhere, but we normally have about 4 buses coming from different areas. Transport is not confirmed until we have students that will start joining, as our facilities team does run a survey to know where the interest is for students to be coming in. So it does get confirmed quite late, only because we do need to know where the majority of students are coming through and where we can run transport facilities too. But there is normally transport for students, and it runs a pickup in the morning to arrive just before lectures start, and then there's usually a pickup at the end of the day around 4:30 to take students back home. So classes would be in between those times for students that to accommodate them with regards to transport. Abid, yes. You're muted.
Sorry, I always forget that. Just to add on the issue of transportation, so for what I use, the uni also helps in providing national bus pass as well, which so it gives you free transportation from your home to your location. But if you want to venture anywhere else on the island, you can use that bus pass, which the uni helps you provide. I mean, helps you get one, and you'll be paying student fare throughout.
Okay, thank you very much, Abid. Moving on, how does the transferring system work? I think the question is with regards to transferring maybe to another campus, or if you're transferring into Middlesex Mauritius. I'll answer that. If you are thinking about transferring to another Middlesex campus, either in Dubai or Hendon, you would be contacting our academic registry, who will then do the necessary paperwork, get the approval from the incoming university, and also get approval from your academic here. And then make a confirmation when that's all ready. When you do the transfer, you will then have to look at the tuition fees and any visa requirements for the incoming university, either in Dubai or in London. If you are looking at transferring from another university, not part of the Middlesex brand, to us, you would have to make an application via our application portal and provide us with all the necessary information so we can make a decision whether we can accept you as an advanced entry student, or if you would have to repeat year 1. So I hope that answers your question, but we do accept students transferring from other institutions to us, but students also transfer outside of Middlesex Mauritius to one of our other Middlesex campuses, either in London or in Dubai. Rebecca, thank you very much. I hope I've answered your question. Yes, I can definitely have a look with regards to your application later and get in touch. You're very welcome to people that are saying thank you with regards to the questions being answered. And I see another question from Rebecca. Is it possible to switch from September into the January intake if you're unable to start in September? Yes, do get in touch with us. We can then confirm what courses we have running in January. As we will get a confirmation after our January intake on which courses will start a little bit later on, but do keep in touch with us, with your admissions officer, and they should be able to make the transition smoothly for you in deferring an application for you. So definitely that can be something, but I'll have a look into that, Rebecca, don't worry. Femi says, thank you very much for the explanations. Yes, I will have a look at your application. Describing the accommodation, there's a variety of accommodation. For me, I mean, I think the best thing would be in your case is to have a look at Student Life Residence. They have a wonderful website with pictures and videos. Please have a look at the website. You can find that information on our website if you type in accommodation into the search engine. Otherwise, if you're looking at private accommodation, there's different landlords, advertising, and agencies. You can have a look at what's being offered and the price ranges being offered. So please do have a look at what's available on the market. But for Student Life residents, our Hall of Residents, you can find their website, and it's linked on the middlesex.mu website. Gavina, you're very welcome about the information. Kelvin, you're very welcome. Thank you very much for the feedback. I think that's all, guys. We have one more question that has been sent privately, and I wanted to ask, the person wanted to ask is what did you look at? Prospectuses, leaflets, or booklets in order to make a decision which university was right for you? Did you look at anything like that? Berenice, maybe you can let us know if you had a look at any prospectuses, websites, booklets. What guided you in terms of initial looks of a university?
Well, like I said, I learned about Middlesex University through like.
Sorry about that, Berenice. Please continue.
Yeah, I learned about Middlesex through high school, but at the same time, I had like friends who were at the first campus, like the one that was at the Bantea, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Yeah, so through them, I also had like a good feedback, and also like to have informations. I think that the uni itself was very like open, like you could call and you could like schedule an appointment, and like it's very like the talk is easy. There's not much wait through asking for an appointment and getting one. So that is really nice. And also like I said, if you have a bunch of students like in high school, like you can, I think that you can even ask to come and have a tour of the campus. So yeah, it's very close. Like you'll see it's a big family, like Middlesex is a big family, like you'll feel welcome like easily. Do not hesitate to ask questions, and yeah, I think that make the most of the opportunities that you get, like the webinar, like the school tours, like yeah.
Thank you very much, Bernice. And Noor, you've got your hand up.
Yes. So concerning the resources to gain more information, I got all of my information concerning Middlesex on www.middlesex.mu. So there's information for all of the courses, which modules you will be doing in which year, and there are also excuse me, virtual open days held on that website. And if you happen to join us during one of those open days, you'll be able to talk and link directly with lecturers or students like us and ask further questions, just like you have been doing now, but you can also do it with lecturers during those open days if you're unable to come directly on campus. So
yeah, I mean, we advertise our virtual open days. If we have another one coming up, you will definitely hear from us, especially on our social media. So do follow us. I think that's we're going to come to an end. It's been a fascinating hour. Chaik, you've just got in there before I was going to say my final words.
Actually, I see another question regarding the volleyball team at Middlesex.
Oh, did I skip that?
Yeah, there's a question about athletics.
Oh, so sorry about that. I must have quickly. Yes, athletics. Does Middlesex have a volleyball team? I know Middlesex has a football team. I know there's quite a few competitions organized in Spark, the gym, and the sports facilities next door. I think Jean-Patrice had a volleyball competition going on at one point. I think we had some students even part of a volleyball team. I think I'm not 100% sure if there is a volleyball team at the moment, but I can get back to you with regards to that. But we do have various teams and sports events happening, especially on campus and at Spark, the facilities. Yeah, so yeah, that's it. I think we're going to have to finish this up now. That's all we have for today. Just some final words before I share our contact details. Thank you all for contributing. And if I've missed any questions, we'll keep it the part of the chat and answer them for you later. I would personally like to thank all our 4 students, Noor, Berenice, Albert, and Chaik. Thank you very much for taking time. I know exams are over, I know the term's over, so much appreciate you taking time, especially in your spare time. I know you're relaxing and some of you are waiting for your results to come out, so good luck with that. And I know that a lot of the information you provided has been very insightful, and I hope has given confidence to some of you on this platform today when it comes to making your decision with regards to your future. So once again, thank you very much. From the team in the Admissions and Marketing Office, we are in a very privileged position as we speak to students from the inquiry stage. We then see their application. We deal with their visa, and we take them through the enrollment stage. We also see many of you on campus, and we hear the different stories and what you're up to while you're on campus. We see you through graduation, and in many cases, we actually hear what you do post-graduation. So in the team, we are very privileged to be able to take you from a journey from the start to the end. So we have a lot of experience. So do get in touch with us, as we'll be very happy to have a chat with you. And I wish you all the very best, and thank you for joining us today.